Hi, I'm Killin. I just released my Enlightenment EP on Rushdown, and I thought some of you guys might be interested how I made some of the sounds, and so I thought I would break down for you my intro track of the EP, The Gate. So let's just hop into it. So here we are in Ableton, and I will just show you guys what I'm going to be breaking down for you right now. So, as you can hear, it's very colorful, very watery, I would say. Typical Rushdown release. So yeah, what I'm going to be covering is basically how to make a lot of layers on top of each other, because this is a very layer-heavy track. And yeah, so for the first thing you can hear is just a yoink I made in a separate session. I got several of those yoinks, just little variations of it. I spread them all over my EP, which is a very nice thing to do, by the way. If you have like one nice sound, just make some variations of it and then put them in different tracks, and people will kind of recognize it. It will be something different, but similar each time, so it really helps getting a signature sound. And then we go straight into this RP thing, which is speeding up. And which is also the sound that is coming after in the drop, so it's kind of like a foreshadowing thing. And what this is actually a which ride preset, but really just this sine wave thing, which is really not that complicated. I could have done it myself, I was just a bit lazy. That's all it is, just with my effects on. My effects are coming in, so it's kind of introducing the sound of the drop. What's special here is I put in this F-7 chord and sped up the rate of this arpeggiator. So it's getting faster and faster until it reaches the speed at which the main sound is working in the drop. And this is really the same sound as here. I'm just introducing it with this little fake out thing. And yeah, what's important to say about the effects afterwards is very important is this grain delay. Putting grain delays on stuff really adds a lot of wateriness, I would say. I put it on an octave, and the thing about grain delay is that it's really wide and grainy, obviously, and so it creates really the feeling of something watery, I would say. Especially in the second drop, you can hear that. And afterwards, you've got just really subtle things, saturator, phaser. Really, you gotta play around with your favorite effects on there and see what works. What's also really important is my filter formant. It's my personal filter I made myself. I basically just took an EQ, made some peaks, some notches, and then mapped them all to this button. And this one is controlling the whole shape. And this is giving it this yow yow sound, because this is basically how human formats work, and I'm just putting this on to this sound, so it's giving it a more human characteristic. And yeah, so nothing special happening, few ODTs obviously, just cutting out the lows. And that's about it, just some room, and the rest of the effect aren't really doing anything. It's just it's a bit of a mess what I did here. But yeah, moving on, we have the same sound I just showed you, just chopped up. And now the layering is starting, the real fun. I got that layered with this. Really not a cool sound on its own, but it's just the thing about layering that I want to give to you guys is that how it sounds in mono doesn't, sorry, not mono, but in solo doesn't matter at all. So when layering, you really gotta be careful that you don't make the sound perfect in solo, but perfect together. Most of the times, the best sounds, if you put like 3 sounds of top of each other that sound great in solo, they are gonna together, they are gonna eat out their frequencies and fight against each other and actually end up sounding worse most of the time. So actually, if you have sound that sound pretty bad in solo, a lot of times they have some nice frequencies that just fill up the spectrum, and that's what's happening here. So this is the first layer to this plucky sound. It's just adding some grid and filling up some frequencies that the plucky sounds aren't having here. And the next really important layer is obviously the sub, but the sub is not just a sub, but also very it's a saw wave. So and yeah, really just literally a saw wave, just nothing else in serum. Afterwards I got some erosion for some white noise. Then I'm getting rid of a lot of frequencies. As for subs like that, I love using notch filters. Saturation, another notch filter because I love it so much. And then, important thing, EQ. When layering, EQ is your best friend. I'm taking, basically what I'm doing most of the time is just looking. Oh, this is the, yeah, especially this one. So what I did with this EQ is just go to my main sound, go there, then I put an EQ on and just see where the fundamental frequencies of the sound are. So I see here, then here, and here's a little peak. And I want that these frequencies stand out, but I don't want to just boost them. You probably heard a lot of times taking away from the other elements is way better. So I'm putting this EQ on here. And what you can do is either just use the scale function and then you just invert this thing. So you're basically taking exactly those frequencies out of this sound and make it more fit. Or you just do it, what I like to do actually more, is just take the gain, because I have a bit more control of it, and I can also use the Q if I want to have it more precise, and I can take out literally just those frequencies that this sound is taking out. If you would listen to the sub in solo, it would sound weird what I'm doing here. Yeah, it sounds more full without, but if you, but it's actually making place for this sound, so it can fit perfectly in and it's not clashing. Yeah, that's making it sound really tight and well together. But that's not all. We also got the scream thing, which is also filling out some frequencies. It's really subtle, but you will hear the difference. Giving it some top end gird. And this thing is just a very high, actually a very low and a very high saw. Some dimension, some chorus, and then I'm cutting out everything, as you see. Some erosion, just really, this is just for some top sparkliness. And yeah, that's all together, it sounds like that. Continuing to this part, those are all sounds I made in separate sessions, so I'm sorry if I can't show you exactly how I made those, but I can tell you this one, it's just really normal gritty sound, but I gave it a resonance boost at the frequency of F. So it sounds like it has a tone, but I really just boosted this frequency, which is really nice to get tonality and harmony into a sound that is actually atonal. And the sub is continuing. And we also have this sound. Really simple wobble, I would say, so I don't need to explain you that one. Find tons of tutorials for those sounds out there. And yeah, later on we just have a variation of everything, like that. Yeah, that's literally just the change in the rhythm. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to show for this drop. I hope you enjoyed it. To sum it up, I was talking a lot about layering now, and the main thing you should really get into your minds and really need to focus on is, if you do layering, doesn't really, I mean, in some way it does matter how it sounds in solo, because that's how you start off. I think it's too hard to really start from scratch with every sound in not in solo. But if you want to mix it together, you have to ignore the solo button and work with everything together. And the second thing I want you to take away is that EQing is your best friend, and you just need to take away a lot of stuff in the other sounds to make place for the other layers you have. So that's again a thing you wouldn't do in solo, because taking away so much of one sound would sound weird because it's missing something. But you're filling it up with the other thing, and you can only hear that if you're not in solo. So yeah, that was about it for the gate, and I hope you like it. Stream it if you haven't heard it yet. And yeah, we'll say I'll see you another time with another tutorial or something else. We'll see what I will come up with next. And yeah, have a nice time. Bye.